This
The
is
following is a paid
WPSL
program.
Sports.
The content is provided by the advertiser. WPSL, its staff, management, and ownership are not responsible for the content. Investment involves risk. Prior to making any investment, an investor should meet suitability requirements. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future performance. Neither the opinions expressed nor the information provided constitutes a recommendation to purchase or provide investment advice. The material presented is not a substitute for obtaining professional advice from a qualified person or firm. Securities offered through Centaurus Financial, member FINRA and SIPC. And now, the host of the Team Martek Hour, Joe Martek.
We're just talking about the car business over here, which is perfectly inappropriate for anything we do.
We did that yesterday, actually. We have a show all about it.
It's a good show. I listen to it from time to time.
Yeah.
Listen, there are a lot of things that dealers can do, but it's the difference between what they're legally obligated to do. All right, so as long as the dealer follows all the rules, you may not like the deal, but that's a legal deal.
Yeah,
When you sign it, you sign it.
Yeah, well, when you go buy a car, that's your deal. You have to decide if you can live with it or not, or you can walk. Nobody's
You had to
making
go through the
you do that.
M&I. What do they call them? The guys that do the final numbers in the dealership.
Oh, the finance.
The finance guy.
finance guy.
We call him the finance guy.
The finance guy.
Finance guy.
Yeah.
I was thinking of an insurance term, and I was in the wrong business for a minute.
And the finance guys, a lot of times they'll want to sell you, other products.
They try to upgrade it,
extended
right?
warranties and
Oh,
different
yeah.
things. That's
Yeah.
all part of
Part of the
the deal. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, look, dealers have to live. They have to make a profit. They have to pay the overhead.
Got to keep lights on.
They can't build those great big magnificent facilities on air. That has
Or
to be
pay
done.
the government penalties for not getting enough miles per gallon.
Oh, that's true.
340-1590, 340-1590. This is the Dan and Joe and Alan show. Because Alan's been a special guest now for how many years?
It's been about 1.5 now, Joe.
He's
Scary.
catching. He's getting up there.
Yeah, he's more consistent about showing up than any team member. He's even more consistent than Dan.
And that's a good thing
That's a
because
good thing.
you need someone to keep you straight.
See? No, our producer over here has offered to keep me straight. many
Yeah, I
times.
think we can work on that.
That's not what that finger meant,
Piece
Joe.
of cake.
Yeah, right. Well, I hate to tell you, in a fair fight, she hurt me bad.
In all honesty, it's easier for me to be here because I have a big R in front of me called retirement. So
That's true. And
you
you've
know-
got a new car, and I need you to take me for a ride in that new car. It's really a good looking
Actually,
car.
that's a good-looking white, too. That's
Is that pearl white? That
pearl
tri-white?
I like that.
Oh,
I
so
like that.
congratulations are in order.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably
He bought the most expensive Toyota Camry ever made.
Yeah, but have you seen the new Camry is
it's
like
But it locks the door
It
just by
looks
touching
good.
it.
Yeah.
You got to touch the door and it locks. You don't have to turn a key. You don't have to punch a
Yeah,
button.
these things scare me. I like mechanical cars, cars that are just still machines.
It's hard to get a car without any features.
Oh, boy. Well,
If you want to crank your window
My
up.
favorite car, my all-time favorite car is the 1940 Businessman's Ford Deluxe. That's my car. I love that car. And I'm sure it's very mechanical with no creature comforts at all.
They had no creature comforts, period. They probably had mechanical brakes. It didn't have power brakes. It
Well, you
didn't
have to-
Fred
didn't have
Flintstone.
anything.
Fred
No power
Flintstone.
steering.
You've got to specifically order vehicles that you want like that. When I bought my last truck, I bought a Toyota Tundra. I said I don't want anything, fancy. No leather, none of that. I put all that on myself. I said the only thing I want off from the factory is I need power windows and mirrors because I'm not going to crawl to the other side of that truck
Yeah.
and adjust it.
Right.
I want a tow package in case I want to tow something because that's what you buy a truck
Yeah,
for.
but that's muscle.
And I said I want nothing else.
You want
Yes.
power steering and brakes.
Well, I
yeah,
got
but
that.
yeah,
Okay.
isn't that like standard now?
Well, I think it is.
I think so.
But all those, like the nav and all the other stuff, I said, no,
You
I
got
don't
a
want that.
radio.
Hey,
I got a phone for all that.
You got a radio.
No, I put my own
You
radio.
put your
in.
own radio in?
Okay, yeah.
Your own speakers?
My own speaker.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you bought it bare bones and you
I
made it
bought
the way
it
you
bare
want. Yeah.
bones and made it look really nice.
Did you put
And you got
big
a great
speaker
truck for
bar
less money.
across the
No,
back
no,
window?
no. That was my son's truck.
Your son's truck.
He had one of those trucks that had like the base thing under the back seat,
The whole.
and it'd vibrate the whole
No,
truck.
see, I would like a lift kit and really big knobby tires.
You like the lift kit?
I love that. Oh yeah, the higher the better.
It's
the truck.
tough to get
Now,
in
see,
and
when
out.
I
Well,
was-
those are
When we were kids, you remember how they used to have the electric? you
We
could
had
lift the
we
car
had
up
air
and down?
shocks.
Yeah.
We had air shocks, and we would have the thing in the trunk, and we'd bring the little air hose over that you use for your tires.
Like a lowrider?
Yeah, and we'd just give a little air, and it'll lift it up. It looked great.
You see those cars that bounce?
I like the ones
Those are
that
hydraulics.
bounce.
That's too much money.
I think are people still doing that. That may be
sure
like.
I'm sure you
yeah.
can. Anything that can be done will be done. That's it.
I'm just wondering if it's still in.
Well, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
in.
I think it's expensive and it's
Yeah.
hard to maintain because
Sure.
they leak. And then only one side comes up and you're going down the road. It's sort of like having.
But that's cool too. Crooked.
Well, that's like I'm watching people in boats and the boat lifts off to one side real heavy. The guy hasn't figured out how to use the trim tabs.
It's the same principle.
Yeah. Or you have the wrong person on the wrong side. You have to like shift
Well,
seats.
you have to have the weight evenly
have to
distributed
weight.
on the boat. Absolutely.
Yes.
340-1590, 340-1590. So back in '04, Dan Woron, independent insurance agent, Greg Fasula, attorney, Joe Martek, financial advisor, said, let's start doing a radio show so that we can share our individual knowledges with the consumer. And boy, I'll tell you what, we've been doing that since '04, and then after that period of time, we decided we better add some more people because new subjects kept coming up, like real estate. So Ms. Victoria Loyd jumped into the thing, who's only been in the real estate business since 1978 or 80. And for a girl that's only 30, that's really hard to do, which brought
Women
in
multitask anyway, so yeah,
Absolutely.
she could do it.
I can't multitask.
She could do it.
I can multi-delegate.
Well, you know what? That's important in business
That's
too.
right.
which brought in Mike Paulus, mortgage broker, who has been a magnificent addition. In fact, I was talking to Mike yesterday, I think it was, about buying a house with a reverse mortgage.
Okay, you
And
can do that.
Knowing the equation, but based on age, what you have to come up with.
Based on your age, you should get a lot.
I should get 100% based on my age, but that doesn't work that
No,
way.
I don't.
So they have an equation, and then I asked him, I said, is it based on appraised price or sale price? He said, the lower of the two.
Okay.
Whichever one. Okay, well, you
Well,
just
you know,
need...
values are creeping
Well,
up.
that's going to be the appraised price because it
Well,
seems
not-
as though you get a price on your house and the appraiser comes in and you're like 20 grand off.
Well, you know, you're always a little upside down because when things go up, all of a sudden they start going back down. It takes a while for the appraisers to go back down.
Right.
Once they go back down, it takes a while for them to go back up. So, you know, when you want to sell your house, sometimes you have to be the trailblazer and hope you can get them to agree to appraise it for that or have the buyer come in with more cash.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the reality is most appraisers work 3 to 6 months in arrears.
That's true.
So they look at a house that sold 6 months ago, and the market might have appreciated 4 or 5%.
The market appreciates around here every month.
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
month.
been going up.
Only
strong.
when I'm selling do things go down.
Of course. Well, it's like I have a client of mine. He talks constantly about getting in and out of the market, and I said, well, you know, Ron, every time you get out of the market goes up. So I want you to get out now.
We have some friends that we should pay them and
Pay them.
do whatever they do the opposite, and we'll make money.
Absolutely. I said, you know, if you'd have just listened to me for the last 2 years, you've been a rich guy now. Now you have almost nothing left. Because he was negative all last year. And I have another client that is proverbially into shorting.
Sorting, wow.
I mean, they have almost no money left because they know
No.
it's going to turn one day. But even if it went up 100%, when you've only got $1 left, you only didn't have two.
Only double it.
340-1590, 340-1590. Have you noticed that the price of gasoline's going up?
Oh, let me tell you what. I went to a station last week. I didn't really pay any attention to the cost of the gas. I just whipped in there, got my gas, went inside, and then when I was leaving, I pulled my receipt out of the machine.
Yeah.
I was paying $3.75
Woo!
for a gallon of high test.
You need a gas buddy on your phone.
Well,
You got kind of chump written across your
all I
forehead.
know is
So wake up, Dan.
I will
Check
never
the
go
pump
back.
before you
I'll
buy.
never go back to that station again.
Yeah,
never.
before you swipe your card.
Well,
And
you
I
can-
like the station because it's got like one of those little car washes, and if my car gets dirty and stuff, I can just zip in there and get a quick, $6 car wash. But I'm not paying $3.75.
New York
No.
City, $5 this morning for gas. California's $5 a gallon.
Yeah, well, they're taxing their people into oblivion too.
That's why there's a great flight of
And they
people
must
out
have
of California.
they must have the most wonderful roads.
Yeah, they must.
I doubt it.
Well, you hear Musk is going to build a tunnel with a vacuum transporter.
Yeah.
So
He needs to build it in, where is his Tesla factory? What country? Germany, somewhere?
I don't know.
Well, Obama gave him money for the electric car whole idea thing, the incentive, and the seed money and he
the
took the
Tesla.
company to another country.
That's
Well, he's doing in Vegas. He's building his Teslas, and but this other thing, he wants to build that vacuum tunnel, and you can move people and vehicles at about 3.
like a subway. You mean?
Like the drive-through at the bank.
But it's,
Oh.
but you'll go up to 300 miles an hour.
You ever see that movie, The Kingsman?
No.
All right, they have that, that on their movie. They have this little thing you get into, and it sucks you right over to
Yeah,
where to the
yeah.
main
Yeah.
headquarters. It's
Here's the
same
thing with all these wonderful things that they're going to build. Who's going to ride in them? Because they're going to cost a fortune.
The same people that are going to ride on the train, that's going to go from Miami to Orlando.
Right. And all these fantastic, wonderful things with all this new technology costs a lot of money.
It's going to be interesting.
And
how
seats are going to
Brightline-
cost a lot of money. Who's going to ride?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the government helping private enterprise bring good products to the market. That's how we get to future technology and how things get better. I just don't want the government to pick all the winners and all the losers and create things for the people who donate to them. That's what I have a hard time with.
Government-backed loans. You and I have been trying for years to find a company we can start so we can go bankrupt, so we can make a couple $1 million a year.
It's a work in progress, Joe, but we haven't quite
figured out
Yeah,
which
but
one
to
do it.
hand over government money because it's a green project
Well,
and have that company go somewhere else and build.
Well, I tried to get a government
But
loan
hey,
for
but
these
see-
solar
Having a problem
dryers.
with that.
I had a really good solar dryer project. It was like this string with a couple of things on it that you
Clothespins.
could hang your clothes on.
Clothespins.
But they wouldn't back that, Joe.
Dan, it has to be more ridiculous.
But I was selling it for a high price.
Well, that helps.
It's a solar clothes
it's a solar dryer.
You got. It's called a clothesline.
My grandmother had that. That's
Yeah,
old
oh, my-
technology.
Times.
Yeah, my mother had one. I think everybody back in our day
Oh,
had
my
one of
God,
those.
yeah.
The clothesline. They still make clothespins?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Well, to be modern, we were just mentioning that I have a new car, a Toyota Camry, and I wanted to just mention something amazing this morning with the technology of the navigation system. I take US 1, not like Dan here, who goes a circuitous route. That's a big word again.
It's much prettier route.
Yes.
I take the scenic route.
Hey, yeah, I like
The
that
scenic
one too.
route.
Yeah.
But
Scenic road.
I take US 1, and my navigation system was telling me to go to Orange Avenue. And about, maybe a minute after I started driving on US 1, the navigation system says there is a delay about 10 miles north. And so what that did was alerted me to take a left turn at Edwards rather than Orange Avenue. And
Yeah, but you see, on an iPhone with Siri, Siri will tell you where the accidents are and how to get around them and do the same thing.
Do you have
But
to be
didn't have
really
to spend
careful?
$4,000 for
You
it.
kind of have to know where you're at
You gotta know
before
what
you
you're doing.
listen
Well, all you
to
need
where
do-
they're sending you.
No, literally, you're sitting on the interstate in Kentucky and you're going to Nashville, let's say, and you say, and Siri says, okay, this is the route. But then she'll come on and say, there's a delay up there, here's a bypass.
Yeah.
Without even asking. It's it worked really well for us. We sat 3 hours on the interstate.
Thanks to
Well,
Siri.
we went up to South Carolina for the eclipse, and we were using our navigation, and it kept going, make a left.
Make a left.
Well, they had changed that road, and it was all one way.
I don't know.
And there was no way to make a left.
Well, she didn't know.
So we had to go around it, and it gets curt with you. I mean, if
Yeah.
you don't...
Mine says, hey, dummy.
Yeah, my wife gets mad at me because I yell back. Because you know it's just a machine
We
dance.
can't take a left.
340-1590, 340-1590. I was just starting off the show just before we started that I'm very proud of our boy that's leading our country. I mean, he's kicking butt, I'm telling you. Dodd-Frank, you hear that? Congress
Yes.
over. This is magnificent. And then the Iran thing. I mean, I'm just tickled with that Iran thing. Let's just see how that comes out.
I think that what you're going to find into this second year, as the second full year comes through, you're going to find a tremendous amount of people who were going to sit back and realize that while they were all doing nothing but having committees and trying to find out reasons for people not to like the man, he's accomplished all kinds of things.
Yep.
If he'd had a little cooperation, who knows what he could have accomplished.
Yeah.
That's what they're all afraid of, though.
Well, I understand what they're afraid of, but it's going to get done.
Yeah, I'm just happy as a clam. I mean, are clams happy?
As far as I know, they're
As long as they don't get eaten.
I was going to say, as long as they don't get eaten, they're happy.
You saw our girl Hillary, though, commencement at Yale
I try not to watch her.
Yeah,
No, but
yeah.
I saw the clip on TV and ignored it.
with the Russian hat.
Yeah,
That
Was she
part,
wearing
yeah.
an orange jumpsuit?
no, but she had a Russian.
That one you'll watch,
I'll watch
right?
that
You
one.
know,
Which
watch
one?
that
What
one.
did she do with the Russian hat?
Oh, she was saying that I don't know because her
Huh?
jokes are kind of lame.
Collusion.
Well, no. She said if you can't beat them, join them is what
Hey,
she
those
said at
Russian
the very
hats
end.
are expensive. They're made out of sable.
But I heard her also say that we're going to be taking back our country.
Oh, we.
Taking it back.
But I think that statement has already been used by the other side.
Yeah, well, there's not a lot of originality.
Yeah, how about an original
Well,
thought?
Bernie
yeah.
says he's going to run
Yeah.
again.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
I sort of have changed my mind a little bit. He's really trying to push for guaranteed jobs for everyone.
Oh, boy.
And my thinking is this, all right.
Bernie? This is
yes.
Bernie? Okay.
Originally, I said, well, that's crazy. Why would we want to give guaranteed jobs to anybody? But if we have people who don't work, who are on all kinds of benefits, which we know they are.
All you need to do is go on to YouTube and Google Anaheim, California tent cities, and you will be shocked.
I've seen it.
Okay.
If I made these people have a job
But now you got
to get their benefits,
Do you realize it costs more money to hire the people to supervise
Well,
the people
you know
that don't
what?
want to work?
Here's the thing: if I have a child and I sort of view that as a child-parent relationship, with the parent being the government, and I give them a quote allowance,
Right.
which is benefits, let's say,
Right.
and they have no skin in the game, they don't care. But if I make my children perform, if I make them provide some public service, and they realize that the taxes that they're now having to pay are being paid by someone and now includes them, they'd be more aware, Joe.
But don't you think this was tried a few years ago by a guy named LBJ?
No, he didn't try that. Okay, I know Clinton tried
The
to
Great Society.
tried
Well,
to get you
Yeah.
to make you to have a job,
but
but
what
that sort of
happened-
died on the vine.
What happened with Clinton, though, and I witnessed it, was people walking into places with their sheet to places that weren't hiring deliberately
Oh, just
and
to
going,
fill it
"Are
out.
you hiring? No, good. Here, sign
Check.
my seat,
Right.
my sheet."
What I'm saying is,
So-
where did the benefits come from? They come from the government. So let the government guarantee the job.
Yeah,
So
but the
there
government
there
is-
will be no excuses. And if you don't take the job, your benefits are over.
But you ever notice when people get unemployment benefits and it lasts, let's say, 6 months or whatever time
Yeah.
it lasts? You
Yeah.
ever notice that they can't find a job for the whole 6 months, but that the day after they quit,
Hey,
they
I'd
find
be
a
taking
job?
the summer off.
Kind of a miracle, you know.
I'd be taking the
Have you
summer
ever
off.
noticed that?
I don't know anybody on unemployment. So.
Well, but there have been a few that have passed through that I've known, and it was called "What a Gift! I Get to Get Paid Without Working for How Long?"
Yeah, but
Six-
you can barely get by on the amount that you're getting, so
Well,
it can't
then-
you can't do it for very
Well,
It
long.
wait,
wasn't
what-
designed for you to freeload off.
but
It
wait
was
a
designed
minute.
for
Yeah.
a short
There-
period of time.
Have you ever
for to
heard
get
of
up and
working
get a
under
job.
the table?
Well,
Well, no, I've not done that.
You're
so
not allowed
I
to do
don't
that
know.
in the radio business.
Yeah.
Everything
Let me-
I make, I get taxed on.
let me tell you about the first state that did it. It's my home state, Wisconsin. It was
Wisconsin
a-
has wonderful
it
benefits
was
for people who are
it
on
was
welfare.
It was an experimental program, and it worked fantastic. And what it was the state decided, got a waiver from the Clinton administration, and if a family had children, but they were all over the age of 6, the custodial parent had to go to work, or if her or his skills weren't up to par, they had to go to an education program.
So they took the excuse away.
Right. And what happened after that first year of the program, the TV stations were doing interviews with these mothers and fathers, and they were almost literally crying on camera about the fact that they got their dignity back, how wonderful it is to
Is
have
that
a
program
job.
still in effect?
Yes.
So it still works.
Wisconsin has welfare rolls are nowhere near what they were in the
Now let me
70s
ask you this,
and
because
80s.
I have a skeptical mind sometimes. So if you're
Sometimes.
saying, so if you're saying that only if you
Cynical
have children
Dan.
6 and over, are you apply? Did that cause a huge birth rate of all these people having children? So now I have a little one under the age of
Well,
6?
I just know that I used
No.
to live in Rockton, Illinois, which is just south of Beloit, Wisconsin, like 6 miles or something like that. And the word was for people to move
To
across
Wisconsin.
the state line because their benefits are better.
Nothing wrong with
That,
that.
that happens right now. People are moving from California and New York to Florida because
We
our
don't have
tax
good.
structure is
We don't
better.
have good benefits.
But
From
cost
the
of living
video I
goes
saw
way-
last night, people in California are just moving out of their houses and into the street.
Cheaper.
But it's very sad. I mean, it's just like, how about somebody tells them no? You can't pitch a tent on the side of the road? How about no?
Well, listen, tents aren't allowed. Is there?
Well,
building-
they're having to come along with
It's not
bulldozers
so
to get
much
rid of the
tent,
trash
It's the using the bathroom
Yes.
and
Yeah,
Yes.
unsafe facilities
Yeah.
and all the other things that
So,
come with
you're
that.
saying
Yeah.
that
It's
the
nasty.
water running down along the curb
That's
gets
not
a little
water.
nasty.
Very nasty. Nasty, nasty,
Never
nasty.
drink downhill
Never
from
drink.
Kansas City.
340-1590, 340-1590. So back in '04, the concept was to answer questions for clients of mine that I didn't know the answers to, which would be
Many
car
many
insurance,
questions.
business insurance. Even though I was at one time a licensed insurance agent in casualty insurance
But
agent.
Joe, the insurance business since Andrew, literally since Andrew, has just gone crazy. And every time there's a little storm, it's like the old tale of the little chicken who cried the sky
Oh,
was
yeah,
falling.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's how the insurance industry is sometimes. Every time there's a storm, it's going to be a Cat 4, and rates are going to rise. And I'm starting to see that again. And the big thing I'm seeing now is people having concerns about flooding. We've had all this rain.
Yeah.
We've had all this rain.
You only think about it while it's
Now,
happening,
if
right?
we have a tropical storm
Yeah.
or a hurricane and our groundwater is saturated, so it can't
Which
perk,
right now could happen this weekend.
it's gonna
Well,
rise.
I hate to, all the new people who have moved here, like over the past few years, it's Florida. We're a swamp, basically. We're supposed to be this wet.
Yeah, we're
And we
flat.
should
It's
be prepared
subtropical.
for it.
It's
Yeah.
subtropical, and I tell people all the time, listen, we live on a 75-mile wide sandbar.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we are, and we're sticking out here in the middle of the ocean. And, it doesn't take much for us to flood.
Do you remember, because you've lived here forever, 9 straight days of rain ever?
I don't recall this much rain.
I have never ever. Now, even with a hurricane, they come and go. You
I've
got
seen
like 2 or
I've
3,
seen
4
lots
days.
of rain.
We needed this rain, though. We
you know,
really
rain,
did.
rain,
Yeah, but this is
rain,
more
rain.
than our quota.
But not this hard of rain.
But
Yeah.
we've been dry for a very long time.
But that's every winter, though. Every winter we go through our dry season. Nothing new there, right?
Well, this week there was news about Florida insurance, about like $1 billion or something still unpaid for Irma,
I wouldn't
and
doubt
something
that.
about the wind pool money and all. Did you hear anything?
I
Because I didn't
haven't.
get the whole story. I was wondering if you heard it.
I know this, that on the flood side, the flood insurance is a federal program and has some rules and regs, so you can't rush out and buy it when the storm is off the coast. But there are a lot of insurance companies who have now gotten into the private market for flood insurance. One of my biggest auto carriers, Progressive, just purchased a large homeowner company. Their design is to bundle it.
Okay.
I've got other markets that say you can buy your flood insurance right there with your home insurance. And it's actually cheaper than the federal program.
Now, the federal program's got a waiting period, though, don't they?
It does. This doesn't have a waiting
Yeah,
period.
right,
You can walk
right.
in and you can buy it.
Well, so they're seeing a market for it then.
Yes, there is, and we don't have to have flood insurance.
Don't have
but we
to
have
have
to
it.
have it anyway. We do it anyway. But Lenny said it.
We
just
meaning
came-
your house.
our home.
Yeah.
We don't have to, but it's preventative.
Yeah.
Because 20 years ago we were in a flood zone
Yeah,
area.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
off of Walton Road and Indian River
Yeah,
Drive.
yeah.
And so Lenny said it came through Allstate this time,
Yeah.
which I said, it can't be right, but you might be right.
A lot of the carriers are offering a flood endorsement. And really, if you're with a carrier that offers that,
Right.
I think it's a good idea to take it because, as you know, when we had Katrina and other major storms, you had the homeowner company saying, "Oh no, it's flood," and the flood carrier saying, "Oh no, it was wind."
Right.
And now you get stuck in between these two opinions.
Did you speak of the definition of what a flood is before I got here?
No, but you got to have more than an acre. You got to have more than one house. Can't be just you.
You can't be just a low spot on
And
the
that's
block
a-
and
that's
everybody
a
else
federal
doesn't get
rule.
flooded.
So let's just do a hypothetical. Okay, so your house is here,
Right.
and the water rises. Would be my house. You live next door to me,
Right.
and I flood
And I
because
don't.
and you don't. But it's not a 1 mile radius.
1 acre.
1 acre radius.
You're out of luck.
But would it be water damage? I guess that's my question.
It's a rising water. If it's a flood claim, here's my best description of a flood. We've all heard of Noah, and the water rises, comes up your driveway, comes up to your door, it goes under your door and floods your house. That's a flood. If you have your roof get ripped off, or shingles get ripped off, or a window gets smashed, and the rain gets driven into your house, that's wind-driven rain, that's a different
That's
animal.
water damage.
That's water
Okay,
damage.
but let me go back again. I want to clarify
If it's a
that.
flood,
But if they can't figure out how the water got in, you have no claim at all.
well,
they
that's
will figure
where
it.
it's between you, the flood policy, and the wind policy.
Adjuster.
And what I'm saying is, if you can combine the flood with the home, it's going to not be so easy for them to point the finger at the other company.
Right.
It's all them.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so when
It's
it's
all
all
them.
one together. So if let's say I live on an acre, so as long as
You
it's
could
one,
flood
I can flood
without the
'cause it's-
neighbor having to
yeah,
flood.
but so
If you're on a
I
quarter acre or half acre lot, your neighbor
Like
has
most
to
of
That's
flood.
Fort St.
crazy
Louis.
though.
No,
so
it's just-
It's a federal rule. I
so
don't know how to
really,
make it.
if it is an acre of land though, and there's not another house, you're still
good to go.
covered.
You're
It's
still
just
covered.
really the 1 acre thing, not
Yeah.
just that it has to be
Yeah.
2 people.
What they don't want is they don't want you to be the only person who floods.
Yeah, but you may be the person holding everybody else's water.
But
Well-
we've
they're-
we've
if
seen
they're
this,
higher.
We've all
Yeah.
seen this happen. The elevations have changed with code. And
Absolutely.
So here's
Higher.
a house that was built 50 years ago that sits low, and all the neighbors are 3 to 4 to 5 feet higher because they.
And if you find yourself in that position, and when you bought your home, you were not in the flood zone, and if you're still not in the flood zone, but if you are below the grade of your neighbors,
Right.
you should think about buying flood insurance because that's a definite possibility for you. And if
Question
you're
is
not in the
this.
flood zone, it
But
won't
there
be
you go
that
again. There's your
expensive.
hypothetical. Even though I buy it, if I don't have an acre of land that
Yeah, and
the
nobody else
neighbor didn't
flooded.
flood because I have all their water, that's not fair to me.
Chances are, if you have that much rain, you probably won't be the only poor soul who gets flooded. You might.
No, I can see it where I live,
I know
though,
a
because
house
the house
literally
behind
in
me is
North River
low.
Shores, or it's
It all
not,
goes
it's
that
not
way.
North River Shores. It's the subdivision just before North River Shores off US 1, Lake Park.
Yes, the
Yeah, yeah.
older.
Yes.
And man, I
subdivision.
had a client of mine who lived next door to the house that was the low house that constantly flooded, but that was the only one.
So, back
So
to
I
back-
agree with you,
So
Joe.
back to your question, what if you are in that position? You should consider getting your flood insurance not from the federal government, but from a private
Now
carrier.
you can, but back then you couldn't.
Yeah,
right?
we couldn't. You're
But you-
absolutely right.
but you
But now
can
you
today.
can
Are
now, so
they-
you're better off having it together.
Will they require then an elevation
Nope.
certificate?
Nope,
Okay,
Nice.
totally different.
because
Well,
they're
see-
going to come out and go, yeah, you're the low guy. I'm sorry, you're going to get all the water.
No, I don't think they require that if you're not on the water.
They
But
do not.
have a
If you're not in
seawall.
the flood zone, you're fine. It's
Okay.
just like we have some new carriers that'll say, if we sell you insurance, we're going to come out and inspect the inside of your home. If you have plumbing that we suspect may rupture because it's like really old
Yeah,
and rusty
right.
and turning green, we will pay up to $400 to replace it for you because they have found that more damage comes from
Yeah, more.
water than from hurricanes.
Yeah.
Well, one
So-
of my neighbors, they just had a pipe break underneath the slab.
Yeah, for sure.
Which flooded out their
Copper
house.
plumbing,
so is
right.
that flood or water damage?
That's water damage.
So she has water
And
damage.
they're going to say, we're not going to pay to fix the pipe. We're going to pay for the damage it caused.
So who fixed the pipe?
She's going to fix the pipe.
That's
They
ma-
won't pay for
But
that.
that's maintenance. That's like
maintenance.
something broke on your house and you need to fix it.
You need to fix it. That's maintenance.
But the damage
yeah,
it
that's-
does we'll pay.
Really? So
Like
she
your hot-
really needs to get a general contractor because they have to cut through.
They gotta
What
cut
she
the
needs
floor
to
out,
do is
yeah.
she needs to hire a water leak detection company, because chances are they will pinpoint it to within 6 inches, and it's a very small cut. You don't want somebody to come in with a jackhammer and say, "Don't worry, ma'am, we'll find it,"
Yeah.
and start tearing
So a
up
leak
her house.
Yeah, they've got
Yeah.
technology for that. They can find the water under the slab.
And they
I
do
had
that
a-
for my pool customers all the time, who get little leaks in their pool lines.
Yes.
You don't want them to tear up your place. It's a small little cut, maybe 6 inches in square, and there's the leak, and they fix it, and you're good to go.
340-1590-340.
Plumbing advice.
What an education today. Way to go, Vic, bringing in questions that we
Yeah,
just
of
don't
course.
hear every
I was
day.
rushing over here to. My mind's going.
That's a scary thought.
Mine's gone.
Yeah, right. I just
Bring it
got
back.
You're dealing with 3 guys here. What's your name again?
Just use my initials, VD.
VD,
Well,
right?
then Victoria
No, but
Diane de Salvatore.
yeah, but but you changed that when you got married.
Lloyd. But I'm still
VL.
VDL.
No, it doesn't count.
VDL.
The VD was always
the
good.
VD's gone. I thought you could ever get rid of me.
340-15. Speaking of 340-1590, how is the real estate market, other than everything I hear, it's still cranking right along, doing what it's supposed to?
Well, it is. It's doing very, very well. The properties that I've listed and been working on are doing fabulous. I just took 2 new listings that are great. And as soon as it gets in the system, we're getting calls from people saying, "Oh, we were looking in that area." Do we still have real estate that's available? Yes, we do.
Okay.
Do we still see that the market is doing this? It's still like a little roller coaster. It has gone up, but you will see in our systems that you will see some prices coming down, because that means a lot of the people that are taking these listings are overpricing them to where people are not making offers.
There you go.
Do
There you go.
you think that sometimes people who are going to sell their home, they think, okay, I'm going to price it up just before all of our winter guests arrive, and hope that they come down here and spy it and think it's a real bargain based on where they're from, and when the season's over, I'm going to bring it back down a little bit. Maybe a local will look at it. You think that
Well,
happens?
they haven't really said that, but
You
the
think that's
market.
maybe a mindset?
It
Maybe?
might
or
be
they
in their
do they
mind.
pull it off the market
Well, for
completely?
years and
Well,
years
you're
and
hurting
years.
yourself by doing it, to be honest with you.
Back in the 70s, 80s, maybe even the 90s, we would hear that more often.
but
they-
not anymore. You're right, Joe.
they're
It's just
educated.
not.
They've become educated.
But I
Since
see
the
where, like in
computer.
our neighborhood, I see that happen. All the signs come up. It's because the season started.
Yeah. Well,
So,
Well, I
and
think.
everything's for sale.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot more signs go up, and people say, "Oh my God, why is there?" Because prices have ticked up, and now they think they're going to recoup some of their
but
money back.
there are people that test the market every year, especially
Yeah.
like along Indian River Drive. That's everybody lives right
Well,
along
look
the
at it
drive.
right now.
Yeah.
That whole Indian River Drive's listed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Every time I go down there, there's
Yeah.
a new house that's gone on the market, and it's for sale right
And
now.
but a lot of those types of homes with views like that, they're at the top of their price, and they're going to sit.
yeah, but
nothing's
let me tell you the
really
interesting
selling.
Don't
stories.
you think that the train scares some of those people? Who've
Some
been
of the
there for a
people
while?
haven't. They don't even see the train. They only see the water.
But the
sometimes.
train was there first. I mean,
Yeah.
the train's been there the
Some
whole
people
time.
it just doesn't
but one or
bother.
2 trains a day is not the same as 30
Yeah, but those
a day.
trains are going to go by so fast.
And I live by Indian River Drive, but I'm not right on top of it, and I can hear and I call it my choo-choo, because it is my choo-choo.
Well, when I lived on Indian
but
River
you were
Drive,
closer to it.
I mean,
Joe.
I was 600 feet from the tracks.
Right.
But
They shake the house.
honestly, oh yeah,
Oh, it
Yeah,
does.
the big-
I took a
the-
listing one time, and the paperwork
the
fell
big
off the
freight
floor.
trains,
Yeah.
I mean, which is all we had. But there was, I think, never less than 9, never more than 20 trains a day. So I've been reading this article, whether that's true or not.
There's going to be a lot more, though.
Well, now they're at if it happens, if it happens, they
It's
add
gonna
another
happen.
30.
It's
But
going to happen.
you think it really is?
Joe, so much money has been spent on both ends of this
I
line.
just-
Yeah, but it's going to
It's gonna
zip by
happen.
so fast.
But still, they haven't been able to do the
It's
bond
supposed to be
issue
short.
to finish it up. They got a small bond issue done for the thing, but they haven't been able to raise the money. Which, hey, I'm still wishful thinking that they won't.
Well, I think it's definitely going to affect some of the little towns downtown areas as these trains and all the traffic gets stopped. And the ambulances won't be able to get to the
Oh,
Martin
man.
County
Big time,
Hospital
big time.
easily because those trains.
But shouldn't
will
those
come.
communities be planning now on an alternate
Well, how
route
do
or a
you
way?
plan? How do
Put
you-
in a
there's no way they can-
tunnel, a
No, they're not-
viaduct, put in
you
a
can't put a
go
tunnel.
over, go
It'll flood.
under.
But a person
Have to
that's
pump it out.
person that's dying that needs to go to the hospital, they can't plan.
Those are my main concerns,
Yeah.
more than
Yeah,
anything.
but before the added trains, let's get the
I mean, how many
infrastructure in
helicopters
place.
can you have to lift people over the train?
I don't know. They had to take my husband in one, so I know it's pretty scary.
Barb went twice by helicopter.
I know.
So
And they paralyze you, which I never realized. When
Is
you
that
get
right?
in the helicopter, you're paralyzed. They
I
give
d-
you a
I
shot.
didn't-
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
That's
Yeah,
kind
so
of
don't
spooky.
go.
'Cause what
It
if
is
you
spooky.
freak?
That's what they said.
Yeah.
What if you freak?
Beats me. All I know is that Barb didn't remember, so she must have been paralyzed. Of course, she's usually paralyzed anyway, but that's not a big deal.
Victoria, as we all know, the stock market and the bond market are very volatile. But out of curiosity, property that is close to the water, is it more volatile? Do prices increase more when times are really good and then go down percentage-wise a lot more than, say, your average home in a residential neighborhood?
But that's a great question, and it just depends on the person, and it depends on the house,
But
and how long
overall,
it's been on.
if we take along the beaches, condos on the beach or something
Well,
like that. I mean, when the market was hot, obviously the
They
prices are
went
up.
up
But they
more,
come
yeah.
down.
'Cause
Resales,
it's a
especially.
commodity. Anything
it's
that's
limited.
a
It's a
commodity
limited
is a
commodity.
limited commodity, as we're saying. And when it is, people say, "Okay, this is great." Like I just took a new listing on the water. I have two on Hutchinson Island, and they're lovely. And one is $735,000, and my other one is $289,000. Are they both on the ocean, which are fabulous? But one offers a little more high end than the other offers.
Of course.
And even the one that's $735,000, you have unlimited golf across the street.
Yeah,
You've got the unlimited. You can go use the restaurant and have discounts
So you got
across the
amenities.
street. So you have these other amenities and
Indian River Plantation, huh?
no, that's not it.
dunes?
Yeah, the
The
Regency
dunes.
Dunes.
There's only
The
other-
Regency
only
Dunes.
two of 'em,
Yeah,
right?
the Island Regency Dunes is one, and the other one is Sea Winds. And I love Sea Winds.
Yeah.
You remember
Yeah,
them, Joe?
sure.
They have the two towers. There's only 96 total in there, and there's only 8 on each
Are
floor.
they on the ground floor?
And they're not on the ground floor. And you have
That's
a
a
water
bargain.
view, and it's a horseshoe wraparound balcony that's absolutely fabulous.
yeah.
And their maintenance fees are only $1,190 a quarter,
Oh, I
including water and sewer and maintenance. My other one
Oh,
is
man.
No, I'm like,
a quarter.
$400 a month.
No,
What a
my-
deal.
But the Island
You know how much
Regency
scotch
Dunes
I
are
can get for
1,100.
$400 a
I'm
month?
thinking car payment.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, the other condo is $1,100 a month
I'm thinking
because you
that's a
get
good
more
deal.
amenities, as Joe says, to go with it. It's
Brief-
a lifestyle you're buying into.
Yeah.
340. Well, you and I both have lived on
Actually,
the
that's like
ocean.
a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
second
Yeah.
mortgage.
Yeah.
Remember when it was your birthday and I surprised you? I had to get in your building and I couldn't. And Diane and I were outside with this little cake, and he was with Weta at the time, married to Weta, and we were trying to. You were at Miramar, I think it was.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's
I-
only
I-
like
I
50,
like that
100
building.
years ago.
I like that building.
It was a nice building.
Yeah.
You had a nice condo on the
There's
ocean.
not many double-loaded buildings. You know what a double-loaded building is, Dan?
A double load of buckshot.
You know what a double-loaded building
I know
is,
what a double
Alan?
date is.
No, I do not.
There's a single-loaded condo on the beach, and there's a double-loaded condo on the beach. You don't know the difference, huh?
No, I don't.
I'm going to explain it to you.
Explain.
The single-loaded one, all the walkways are exposed on one side. So you go up an elevator, then you go out on a walkway to your
Okay.
door, and you can get rained on, blown on, whatever. The double-loadeds have an interior elevator, and when you go up inside the building, always, you don't have walkways outside. So the moral of the story is you don't get wet except getting from your car to the elevator.
And that's a good point because that's how my Island Regency Dunes is. You go right to the floor. Of course,
It's
I don't take
enclosed.
elevators. I take the steps. But you go. It's all enclosed, and
Right.
it's lovely because you have your own hallway,
Right.
your own double entry doors, and there's only
Right.
3 families on each floor.
Well, that was it in Miramar. I think there was 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 per floor.
Which is lovely.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you see, from being from Wisconsin, I had a different definition for that, but I knew you were
It was a
talking
double
about
loaded
Florida.
drink, right? Two
Well,
shots.
see, single loaded is you've had a couple of drinks, but you're still legally able to drive. Double loaded is you're illegal
Well,
if you
then,
drive.
I thought for a while that was shotguns.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, you know,
In
I,
Wisconsin, it might be.
Yeah, right.
I had mentioned one time I
I had
had
a
gone
single-
out on
I
a
had a
double
single-
date, and somebody said, "Yeah, we know what that is." I said, "Okay." It was me and two guys, and they said, "That's not a
That's not a
double
double
date."
date.
I said, "But it was for me."
It was for me.
340-1590, 340-1590.
Did I just miss something? I mean, I'm naive.
It went
You
right-
were out with two guys.
Well, yeah, because they both asked me out. They knew each other, and I just couldn't make up my mind, so we all three went out together.
Isn't that nice?
And apparently that was
How
okay
romantic.
with them.
It was.
Let me tell you.
Who picked up the check?
Victoria, before she got married, she was the most entertaining person alive because you never knew what story was going to come the next day.
Well, the thing is, you know, I couldn't make stories up like this. I've had a waterbed catch on fire and burn my house down. I mean, how many people have a waterbed
People
catch
have a
on fire?
waterbed catching on fire. Her best one, though, was we were out one night, a bunch of us, and she meets this guy, or we meet this guy who was a high roller. And so he says, "Hey, come on over to my place." So we go as a covey,
We were
right?
at a chamber event.
So we went to the place, and he's out on Sailfish Point in one of the 2,000 square foot patio condos
On the ocean.
on the ocean. And so we're talking and having a good time. And Vic says to the guy, "So are you married?" And the guy goes, "Oh, yeah." Well, she turned around to leave, and she ran right smash into his sliding glass door full tilt. and her statement was, "Boy, you sure have clean windows." And he goes, "Well, where you live, you have dirty windows?"
You know, he goes, "You don't?" And, you know, we all lived out on the island. I was with Joe, and we were with a
They're all
group of
salty.
people. Well, they were because they, you know, their maintenance fees are high too, so they clean the window. You could see my face and my paw prints right on the glass,
Luckily, she didn't bleed on her nose or anything.
or break my nose.
But it was
or
funny.
maybe that's why it's so big.
340-1590, 340-1590.
Memories are great, though.
So, with this pending storm right now,
Yeah.
but you
Can we get insurance now?
But
It's
you
just
can get-
pending.
Well, if you buy
Are we
your
in the cone?
homeowner's insurance and get a flood endorsement, you're
not
good
through
to
the
go.
not through
Not
the
through
flood.
the federal government.
Right.
All right. Because the federal government says, we'll take your money, but it goes into effect in 30 days unless you're buying a new home.
Right.
If you have an existing home and you have some concerns, you can always come in, buy a new homeowner policy, get it with the flood endorsement, cancel your existing homeowner policy, and you're good to go.
Yeah, just
And
like
in,
that.
And in many cases, we have markets that are cheaper than what you're paying now.
So I've got a question. You mean I can cancel my homeowner's
Sure.
policy
Any-
anytime I want to?
Anytime you want.
Within that 12-month
No.
period.
Anytime
Hey, you
want.
buy it today, cancel it tomorrow. You-
Okay, got another good question for you. I got some. I don't know where they're
Okay.
coming from. I think I slept last night. So, if you have a policy, I'm getting a policy, and I had a wind mitigation, and my wind mitigation showed that I needed to put some extra nails in, you know, to tack it in. So I'm going to pay a premium right now, but next week I get the job done.
Right.
If I have my wind mitigator come back out and change it, can I get my price reduced?
during that
And
12 months.
during the
And you-
12-month
and
period.
You shouldn't have to get a new policy. All we have to do is show an amended wind mit showing where you've had these things addressed, and they'll give you the credit for it.
And they'll give you a credit at that
Absolutely.
time.
Just don't buy cheap nails.
They have to be a certain size and a certain
Yeah,
spacing.
and wrapped. Don't
Oh,
they
yeah,
have
there's
to have
all
a
kinds of
certain thing
silly
called?
rules.
But there are, and I think that what scares people in purchasing a home. Sometimes they get these wind mitigations back, and they say, "Oh my gosh, my insurance is going to be too high,"
Yeah.
but not realizing it's just for the moment, and we can change those things.
That's right.
Yeah.
So don't let that scare you, because the next house could be the same way. If you like a home, don't walk away from. I see people walk away because a wall is painted red.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well-
if that wall's painted red, I said, but you can change the color of the wall. And the girl bought the house because I told her she could change the color of the wall.
Well,
Wow.
it was so nice of you.
I know. I always think that if you don't realize that you can paint, you probably shouldn't be a homeowner.
Well, it's not the point of painting. Let me tell you the difference. If you like white color, let's say that very plain and white colors, and I show you a house that has that green wall and that brown wall, and a blue wall. You can't get that out of your mind. You
Yep.
can't see white.
And I say you shouldn't be buying a house.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
here's-
it's
here's-
interesting.
Because
but
the
here's-
next
here's-
guy could go, oh, it's so white in here.
Well, but here, listen, it's
You know,
better to
it
have
is
all
crazy.
white than to have multicolors.
Yeah,
honestly.
multicolors throw you, unless
Yeah.
they're a pastel soft. They
But
like
you-
the grays and blues right now.
But
that
you
they're
got
in
it.
so much.
The key thing that happens.
I'm not living with the
perception.
other guy's paint no matter what.
And lots of people like a specimen wall.
Yeah.
One wall that's highlighted in their house.
Statements. Yeah.
Do whatever you
Everybody's
want,
different.
but I will tell you this.
I'm cleaning away those
I
other
mean, the
people.
house that we bought had a red wallpaper on one wall.
Wallpaper's hard to get rid of.
And, you know, we ended up putting stone on that wall because it's gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the wallpaper's gone. But I understand. I sold to a gentleman, to Barney and Maria, and they're lovely if they're ever listening. He did wallpaper, and he said, Victoria, it's not hard. You know, there's stuff you buy at Home Depot
absolutely.
and Lowe's, and you just have to saturate
If you know
it,
what
and
you're
that
doing.
wallpaper will come off.
If you don't, you rip it and the sheetrock off at the same
But
time.
Yes.
wallpaper nowadays, you're going to see more in bathrooms. A lot of people still like to put wallpaper in bathrooms, and sometimes
How
on
to get
kitchen
divorced?
walls.
Wallpaper a bathroom with your wife.
Well,
Just don't wallpaper the
well, you
back
know
of
what
the toilet.
you need, like people with kids, one wall that's all Velcro. So when you want to put your kids and have
Stick
them
'em
stay,
to it.
stick
Stick
'em
'em
to
on the wall. 340-1590, 340-1590. Dan, other than the flood insurance, which we're getting into this 9-day flood, and now we're going to have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
yeah, our weekend,
No,
our
I
holiday.
heard rain
Is that gonna be
into
our
like
holiday?
next Thursday. I mean,
Anyway,
Well, I mean, there are some things that we're working on. You know, we have created a better manufactured home product. And I just got the okay from one of our carriers. You know where they've redone all of Ocean Breeze down in Jensen?
Absolutely.
right.
All right. I can actually quote some of those as a homeowner, as a regular HO3, as a not a manufactured home, because they're built a certain way and they have a certain sticker on them that allows me to do that.
Nettles Island is doing the same thing.
They got to be new to,
Right.
to have
Well,
that
Nettle
sticker.
Island is. They're doing
But
that.
it's going to be
Are they
interesting.
stick building them on site?
They're
Or-
building them on site. a
Yeah.
lot of them.
Well, this is like Nettles builds a lot of them on site.
Yeah,
and
those
so does
little
Holiday Out. You know, they're all
That's right.
taking the
So it's
RV lot.
considered-
They're adorable. Those little houses are so cute.
And they're expensive.
I know
They're not cheap.
they're not cheap.
Hey,
Just
I
because
got
they're
a
small
client lives
doesn't
on-
mean that they're
lives-
cheap.
not quite tiny home, but
No.
small.
No.
Well, a lot of the younger generation that's out there now are looking for the tiny home.
Yeah.
These things
Because
are
they've
under
seen them
1,000
on TV.
They
square
have no
feet.
children.
And
Yeah,
the problem is though, if you
And
watch
Chihuahuas,
carefully,
that's-
you can't
No
you
Great
can't
Danes,
park
huh?
them.
No.
You can't park
You can
them.
go to Cracker Barrel for
They're
the
against
night.
code.
Well,
Leave 'em there.
I like my motorhome. I can drive it anywhere I want to, and I
Yeah,
have
but these
my own
are
home.
heavy. You can't drag them all over the place. You can relocate them because they're on wheels.
Yeah, well, they're not. Yeah, they're not designed.
they're
they're
not-
travel trailers.
And they're not code.
No, the concept they do, they park models quote. That's you bring them in, you park them, take the wheels off, and
It's
they're gone.
like a
they're
big
there
camper.
permanently.
I like to know I can leave in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
340-1590, 340-1590. Other than that, the market's been pretty flat since the first of the year.
Yeah, but look what the market did all last year, Joe.
Yeah, market was, the S&P 500 was up almost 19% last
If
year.
last year was the first year you ever got in the market,
Yeah, boy.
you are ignorant about how things really work. You were lucky.
Which leads me into my more favorite product, which this is a variable annuity. Now, a lot of times people hear that word and they say, well, gee, I don't like that. Well, why don't you like that? Well, I hear that it's not good. Well, what did you hear? Well, my neighbor, and you know how the neighbors
Oh,
are.
I
They
love
know
that.
everything.
Or TV commercials too. There's
Or
that
bartenders.
singing
They're the
guy
worst.
who
Well, you know what's
tells
interesting?
you don't
Every
want an
time I hear
annuity.
these commercials on TV or on thing, they are never for a securities product, because those have to go through compliance, and the compliance officers, by the time you do all the disclaimers, you've used up a whole minute, and TV commercials are so expensive. And then FINRA is extremely tough on any securities that you don't really get to explain the product. But on insurance products, there's no regulation. You can say whatever you want. So you'll hear constant stuff from the insurance product, meaning fixed annuities or fixed index annuities, that in my not too humble opinion, sometimes are a bit misleading. Whereas the variable, I'm telling you what I have to go through to compliance to make sure people understand what they're getting, which is kind of good for the consumer. They have to understand. But literally, all that happens is with the variable is we're in the market. We're in the market. So the market goes up 20%, you go up 20%, you get all of that, all of the gain. Now, insurance companies don't work for free. And that's kind of a amazing thing, isn't it, Dan, working for free? It's hard to be a philanthropist without money.
When you're broke.
So what happens is you're in the market, and I had clients last year literally that made 19 and 20%, but you add insurance to it in case things go bad. What happens when that goes bad? Well, they say, look, if things go bad, what we have is a death benefit in case you die. Your family's guaranteed what you put in. And sometimes the insurance product, if you qualify, says we will increase it by 5% a year, or every 3 months, if it goes up, we'll lock that number in every quarter. So if you happen, and I joke about it, but it's true. If you die when the market's down and you have money invested in the market, that's what your kids get. But with the insurance product, if you die when the market's down, it had these step-ups that guarantee your family, your spouse, exactly what you wanted to accomplish.
Now, Joe, would these products be better for someone who is looking for income versus growth?
Well, the same product says, okay, fine, here's what we'll do. Market goes up, you're happy as a clam, cash it in, run, do whatever you want. But the market doesn't. They come up and say, hey, we'll guarantee you a 5 or 6% income on that for the rest of your life. And once a year, some companies will say, we will step it up if the market goes up, but we don't ever go back down. So what they do, I've got numerous clients that say, Joe, I'm scared to death to be in the market, but if I'm in the bank, I can't make enough money to even cover inflation. So this gives you a 5% or 6% income per year, every year, that can't go down, and it pays until the rest of your life, period. I mean, if you live to be 115, I don't care what happens, it's guaranteed never to go down by the insurance company.
Now, could I put money, like let's say I had an IRA that I wanted to use in my retirement, could I put that into that type of product?
Exactly. In fact, I had a client of mine that was heavily invested in the market, but when you make really well in the market, now you start to get scared. How do I protect all those earnings? So I said, well, it's time to get out of the market and get into this insurance contract. You can still be in the market, but on the other hand, you'll be guaranteed death benefit for your spouse or your heirs. And if you don't die, you'll be guaranteed income for the rest of your life, no matter what. That can't go down.
One thing to quickly clarify, say the market goes up 10%, you started with $100,000, right. So you're at $110,000, then the market takes a big decline.
Right.
It's not going to step up until it goes over a value of $110,000.
Because that was the step up.
So if it took 2 or 3 or 4 years to do that,
right,
you're still going to get your 5 or 6% a year. Correct?
The key, each time it steps up, that's your base. Now you're going to collect a 5 or 6% income on that base. Market goes down, you stay with the upper base. Market goes higher than your base, it resets up again. It can never set down. Now, 2 things I got to say. One, you have to be concerned about which insurance company is. My compliance people say you have to know the claims paying ability of the company. And secondly, insurance companies don't work for free. So you need to know how much money the insurance company is making. So I make it a big deal to let people know exactly how these insurance companies get paid. But what happens is the insurance side says nothing comes out of that out of your pocket. If it's $110,000, no matter what, you're going to get your 5 or 6% on that for the rest of your life, period. And if the death benefit is what the death benefit, nothing comes out of that under most companies. 340-1590, 340-1590. Anybody wants to get information, you call the radio station. They'll take your name and number. We'll get back to you. Are we done?
You're done.
You're kind of nodding hard, saying quit.
Oh, yeah, like wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.
You've been listening to the Team Martek Hour. The Team Martek Hour is a paid program. The content was provided by the advertiser. WPSL, its staff, management, and ownership were not responsible for its content. Investment involves risk. Prior to making any investment, an investor should meet suitability requirements. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future performance. Neither the opinions expressed nor the information provided constitutes a recommendation to purchase or provide investment advice. The material presented is not a substitute for obtaining professional advice from a qualified person or firm. Securities offered through Centaurus Financial, member FINRA and SIPC. Tune in again next Wednesday at 11:05 for the Team Martek Hour here on WPSL 1590.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.